Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Sometimes we get these animals that just defy categorization, and today we're tackling one of those head scratchers, the Maenad wolf of South America. It's called a wolf, but is it really?
You're telling me. Even its scientific name is kind of a puzzle. Chrysocyon brachyurus.
Try saying that 5 times fast.
Right. But it translates to golden short-tailed dog. Not very wolf-like, huh?
Not at all. So to get us started, where does this golden short-tailed dog actually call home?
Well, you'll find them scattered across a few South American countries.
Mhm.
Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay, Argentina, even a little bit in Peru. But their real stomping grounds, you could say, is this incredible habitat called the Cerrado, mainly in Brazil.
Okay, so we're not talking deep Amazon rainforest here.
Yo, not at all. Imagine something more like wide open grasslands, but with these scrubby trees and bushes kind of dotted around.
Gotcha. Now, before we get too far, we got to address the obvious, right? This thing is called a maned wolf. So for our listeners who are picturing like a giant shadowy wolf with a flowing mane, what are we really dealing with here?
All right, well, first of all, let's talk about size. They're not these hulking beasts. They're actually surprisingly slender.
Okay, so not a dire wolf situation.
Definitely not. Now, the mane part, it's there, but it's not like a lion's mane. It's more like a ruff of fur along their back that stands up when they're feeling threatened or trying to look bigger.
Ah, so like a dog puffing itself up to look tough.
Exactly. And that reddish gold fur, gorgeous, almost fox-like. But the thing that really makes them unique, it's got to be the legs.
The legs.
Oh yeah, the legs. The Maenad wolf has proportionally the longest legs of any canid in the world. We're talking stilt-like.
Whoa, wait a minute. So picture this. You're walking through the Cerrado, right? Tall grass all around. And suddenly you see this reddish figure emerge, but it's like way up high.
That's the Maenad wolf strutting its stuff.
I'm kind of getting a supermodel vibe here. Like, this animal was made for the runway, not the hunt.
It is pretty striking. And those legs, totally adapted to their environment. They can see over those tall grasses, spot prey, and move easily through that kind of terrain.
Okay, but hold on. Earlier you said something about Chrysocyon brachyurus, golden short-tailed dog. I'm no expert, but that doesn't sound super wolf-like.
It's one of the things that makes this animal so interesting because even though it's called a wolf, it doesn't actually behave like one. It's not a pack animal.
Really? No packs? So they're out there, like, solo?
Pretty much, except during mating season, they're pretty solitary, which again is pretty unusual for canids.
I mean, think about it. Most of the canids we know, wolves, dogs, even African wild dogs, they're all about that pack life.
Yeah.
Strength in numbers, right?
Exactly. But the Maenad wolf, it's out there doing its own thing. So instead of relying on a pack to take down large prey, they've adapted to be incredibly efficient solitary hunters.
So what are they hunting exactly? I've got to ask, is this a meat-only menu or?
Good question. The Maenad wolf is actually what we call an omnivore.
Okay, so it's got options.
It does. They'll definitely go for small mammals, birds, reptiles, the usual suspects. They'll even eat insects.
Makes sense. Got to be a lot of those in the grasslands.
But here's the interesting part. They also have a serious love for fruit.
Fruit?
You heard that, right? And there's this one fruit in particular called well, get this. It's called the wolf apple.
Wolf apple. Nature has the best names. Is that like its favorite snack?
It seems to be. And here's why this is so cool. They don't just eat the wolf apple. They help it spread. See, they'll eat the fruit, wander around their territory, and, well, nature takes its course. The seeds get dispersed.
So they're like accidental gardeners.
Exactly. And that's really important for the Cerrado ecosystem. They're helping to keep it diverse and healthy.
You've got this animal that looks like a cross between a fox and a deer, is totally independent, loves fruit. It's like Mother Nature just threw a dart at a board and said, all right, let's see what happens.
A little bit, right. Now think about how they hunt. They use those long legs to see over the grass. Their ears are like radar dishes picking up the tiniest sounds, and then
They pounce. I bet you wouldn't want to be a field mouse when a maned wolf is around.
not a chance. Now, even their mating is kind of unique. They form monogamous pairs, but they don't really live together. They have these overlapping territories, but they mostly keep to themselves.
Like a couple that loves their alone time.
Pretty much. But when it comes to raising pups, both parents get involved. The female gives birth to usually between 1 and 5 pups.
Ah, little mini maned wolves. What are they like as babies?
Well, when they're first born, they have this really dark, almost black fur.
Really, so different from the adults.
Right. But as they get older, that gradually changes to the reddish gold.
Okay, that is adorable. Imagine them, little dark fluff balls wobbling around on those oversized paws.
I know. It's too cute.
But of course, no deep dive is complete without talking about conservation, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the maned wolf is currently listed as near threatened.
Yeah, which is concerning. And the biggest threat they face is, sadly, pretty common, habitat loss.
Because of humans.
Unfortunately, yes. As agriculture expands and cities grow, their habitat gets squeezed. And then there's also things like road accidents, poaching, and diseases that can spread from domestic dogs.
Oh, man. That's tough. It feels like we're constantly having these conversations about human impact on wildlife. So what's being done to try and protect them?
There's a lot of effort going into protecting the remaining habitat and working with local communities to minimize those other threats. And research is ongoing to learn more about their behavior, their needs. The more we understand, the better we can protect them.
Knowledge is power, absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick one thing to focus on for conservation, what would it be?
Honestly, I'd say awareness. Because I think a lot of people don't even realize the maned wolf exists, and you can't protect something you don't know about. So true. And that's where you, listener, come in. Maybe you tell a friend about this incredible creature, or look up some more information online. Every bit of awareness helps. Who knows, maybe someday we can have a deep dive on how the maned wolf made a comeback.
I love that.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those deep dives going.